Hey everyone, it's JP again, and I've got a new bracelet tutorial for you this time, and here it is. It's very simple, straightforward bracelet. I really love this pink for some reason. It just looks great. There it is on. Very simple design. You can see I've gotten a couple of rows of seed beads around some 8mm fire polish. So this is the 8mm. I can't speak. Let me try that again. Those are 8mm fire polish. They were purchased from Czech Beads Exclusive, so they don't give me a color code, but they're like a matte pink, and that's the code. This is the original bag that they came in. So if that helps, there you go. And I am using Opaque Ceylon pink, or pastel pink, that's the color. So here they are Matsuno brand. So Fire Mountain Gems sells these particular brand if you want that particular color. I bought these originally from my local bead store, but then I went ahead and tracked them down online. And the last bead that I'm using, so these are supposed to be, you can use 8/0s. I'm using a tri bead, and I don't know if that's going to be obvious here. There's my needle. But don't know if you can tell that. Get the camera. Okay, well, I'm not sure if the focus is picking it up. I don't think it is. But this is a triangular bead. You don't have to use a triangular bead. You can use an 8/0 in this place. You can use a 3mm bead of anything. You can use any shape, bicone, rounds, etc. So it's set to work with the 3mm just because that's sort of the size. But like I said, use an 8. 8s work perfectly well. And so these are very shiny and sparkly. These are silver lined crystal, by the way, in case you're wondering. And then just need a couple of jump rings and a clasp, some thread that I'm using. I started with, again, my 6-pound fire line. It's the crystal. And so I started with about 5 feet of thread, and that was actually enough for me. This is a 6-inch bracelet, just shy of 6 inches, give or take. But so, and also you'll note that I needed to make 8 components in order to make the 6-inch bracelet. So I should kind of help you figure out how many beads you'll need for your bracelet. But let's get started. So to start, what you're going to do is I've got a stop bead. So that's my big giant silver bead here. That's my stop bead. Then you are going to pick up the 8. They're not kind of in the camera there, so make sure they're in frame. The 8, the 8mm, and the 8. So go ahead and skip over that. Go through the 8mm, and I'm just going to do that really quick. And then what I want to do is go through this 8mm on this, going in this direction. So the thread is coming out on the opposite side. So I want to go, so that way this helps this bead sit on top. And this is what you'll get. They are not going to sit completely straight just yet. It will straighten out in a minute after we add more beads. Okay, so I'm just going to reinforce this. And go through this 8. I went through the 8mm. Now I'm going to go through the 8 at this end. And that's the working end, I guess I should say. And then back through the 8mm. Once again. And through the 8. And you can pull out your stop bead now because it's actually, you don't even have to use one if you want to just hold your thread and work, but sometimes it's a little bit easier just to control the keep control of the beads. Anyway, now what you're going to do is pick up 3 11s, then the 8, and then 3 11s again, and and oh, that's it. No more. So 7 beads. Then go through, so you're coming out of this one over here, move my thumb out of the way, go through that 8 on the opposite side. Just like that, and then repeat 3 and 8, just 1, and then 3 more 11s, and 3, and then just go through the 8. And this is what you should get. So you should get a nice ring around your large bead. And now this time, you're just going to pick up 3 of the 11s. I'm having trouble picking these up. Come on. There we go. And just go through this 8. So you don't need to do anything else, just the 8. So none of the 11-Os. So just like that, you should get 2 rows of 11 sitting side by side. And once again, pick up 3. And just, you're coming out of the 8, so you're just going into the 8s. Pick up 3, go through the 8 here. And this is going to be the last time we add 3 11s on this bead. So pick up 3 and just go through that 8-0. And you should get this nice little, you should get a double ring around that larger 8mm bead. Okay, so now what we're going to do is just make the clasp loop. So I'm going to do my standard diamond shaped loop that I do. So if you watch my videos regularly, you've seen me do this multiple times. So pick up 4 11s and you're going to go through that 8. Now you can just use this 8 and put a jump ring around that too if you want. It's kind of up to you, so you don't have to necessarily do this. It'll still work to add the clasp. Now go through the first 11. I will move my thumb here. I know, hard to see when my thumb's in the way, but you gotta hold the beads too. So pick up 1 11, go into this next one, and repeat. Pick up an 11, go into the next bead, and one last time pick up an 11 and go into this 11 here and the 8. So there's our little diamond shape, and then I'm just going to go through all the beads one more time to reinforce. There we go. Oops, sorry. Hopefully I wasn't out of frame. Apologize if I was. And so, but all I'm doing is reinforcing, so you're not missing anything. And just got to go through 11 and the 8. So okay, so there's my loop for the clasp. Okay, so now to continue, what I want to do is come out of this 8 here at the end. So just go through the seed beads, the 8 that's on the side, so I'm going through the side here. And then through the seed beads here and through the 8. So it doesn't really matter which row of seed beads you pick. Okay, so now also one thing to note, depending on the bead, so if you're using a bicone or a round bead, you may need to put an extra 11. So don't worry about that to get it to be nice and tight around. So go ahead and do that if that's what you need to do. It's just kind of sometimes depends on the shape of the bead. Okay, so for the next step, you're going to pick up an 11, the 8, the 11, the 8, the 11, the 8, and the 11. So basically 3 of the 8s and 4 11s. And then you're just going to go back around this bead here where your thread is coming out. Got a piece of thread there, and that's what you get. And then just reinforce this. So go back around this a couple of times. So not just going through all the beads once more. Okay, so once you've done that, go ahead and you want to come out of this 8-0. And now you're set to add the bigger bead. So pick up that 8mm and another one of your 8-0s. So skip that over, go back through that 8mm, and as you're doing that, pay attention to the direction the thread is coming out in this 8. So it's coming out, going away from me, so I'm going to go into this bead from the opposite direction. And I just want to make sure it's nice, to keep it nice and even, but you're going to reinforce this now. So go back through the 8mm bead and out through the other 8-0 bead here. Although mine's a tri bead. It's an 8-0 though. And then back through the 8mm once again. And again, don't worry if this is not sitting straight, because again, it'll fix itself once we go through the beads. And again, just pay attention to which side you want to go through. So there's 2 over here and only 1 thread here, so this is the direction I need to go into. You might not be able to see that on camera, but now what I'm going to do is, again, we're going to make this frame. So essentially you're just going to repeat all the steps now from before. The only thing you're not going to do is make this loop until you get to the last one. So pick up 3 of your 11s, then pick up the 8, pick up 3 more of the 11s here, just like that. Go through this, and that should help straighten that out since it's kind of off to one side. And we're going to repeat. So picking up 3 of the 11s, I'm going to pick up my 8 and then 3 more 11s. So it's 7 beads. And then back through this 8 here at the top. And there you go, you get that nice beautiful loop around the 8mm. Now we make the second loop. And this time it's only going to be 3 11s each time, so, and we'll do this 4 times. So pick up 3 11s, go through the 8, and again, make sure everything's nice and tight as you go. And 3 11s, through the 8, and one more time on this side now, or technically we're doing it 2 more times. 3 11s through the 8, and again 3 11s, and through this 8 here at the top. So there we have it. Now just make your way over to this 8. So it doesn't matter which set of beads you go through, just go through the 11s first, and then the 8, and your next set of 11s. And I went through that 8. And so that's basically how you're going to build the bracelet. Now you're just going to keep going until you have what you need. So this next step is to pick up these beads. So it's going to be 4 11s alternating with the 8s. So, and 3 of the 8s in this case. So there's my 3 8s, and then this makes it 4 11s. Go back through just this 8 there. Reinforce this loop. And back through, so I'm still just reinforcing. And then through the 8, and then just like that. Beads are very reflective, and go through and come out of that 8 at the other end. Okay, so now you're ready to add that 8mm. So keep going until you get the desired length that you need. Okay, so I have made my bracelet. This is my full bracelet. I had to do 8 of these components to do about a 6-inch bracelet. So this bracelet is just shy of 6 inches. So now to add my loop here, what you're going to do again is pick up 4 11s. So I'm just showing you what I did earlier in the beginning of the bracelet. So I'm just showing what to do here. Same thing. Pick up 4, go around this 8, go through the first 11, then pick up an 11, and go through just the next 11, and again pick up 1 11, go through the next one, and one more time, pick up an 11, go through the next one. And then you just want to reinforce. So go back through all the beads one more time. So, and usually with this, because of the angle of the beads, you can only do 2 at a time. So, and 2 more. All right, last one here, and then my 8. So reinforce however many times you feel you need to, but there's the loop. And then I am going to tie off here in my 8s on the side. So I'm just going to go down and tie a 1/2 inch knot here. Between the 11 and that 8. And then go through that 8. And the next set of 11s here. And of course, again, another half hitch, and then go through the 8 here, and then I'm just gonna weave through a few more beads and then tie off here, or trim my thread rather. So usually 2 good knots is good, 2 or 3. You could do more if you want. It's up to you. Got my threads up. Whoop. I just put new batteries in, so it is smoking. And don't worry, I did not burn myself. I didn't touch myself. It just, the little bit of smoke startled me. Anyway, so there it is. There's the bracelet. And I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I got my jump rings, so I'm just going to put my jump rings on and a lobster claw clasp to finish it up. But thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.